Well,
Yeah.
the next thing I want to talk about is Kodi.
All
So
right.
we got quite a bit of attention with our last Kodi video, and so I think people are interested in this topic.
Hmm.
So just as kind of a rundown, Matt, Kodi, it's like a multimedia player, right, for Android devices.
Absolutely. Yeah. So in on its surface, it is a media player. And that's how it was originally developed. I believe it was called XBMC originally, and people would put it on
Really?
the
Oh, it was
Xbox.
XBMC? Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it was XBMC, and it was originally lots of people on Xbox installed it, and so that's its roots. And then people started using it just like you can use any tool for good or evil. And so that's when you get the Kodi add-ons. Now, the concept of an add-on wasn't necessarily originally invented for XBMC or Kodi to download torrents and share copyrighted material. However, that's what it's evolved into. So the people at Kodi never claim to be supporting or sustaining piracy. However, um, it is kind of become synonymous with piracy because people will install these add-ons. In fact, the easiest way to get Kodi working on your computer and have access to all kinds of content is to install these wizards that will automatically update your add-ons, and as certain add-ons drop off, you just update
But
your
probably
whole
full of
program.
malware, right?
Well, you need to be careful, absolutely. Just like anything, whenever you're playing around with freeware, especially with something that could be somewhat shady, like
Mhm.
dealing in piracy, you have to be careful. Like if you remember LimeWire and what was the
Yeah.
donkey one,
I don't even know.
and I remember when we first started installing those
K-
things on our
Was it
computers.
Kazaa? Kazaa, was that the
eh,
donkey one? Yeah.
that there was anyways, they all were installing malware and all kinds of stuff, and you got the tornadoes would come up and so
That's a
i
funny word.
I think you need to be careful with what you install. But anyways, I'm going to make a confession. I've used Kodi, and I
Uh-huh.
think it's a fantastic program. It's a great media
Oh,
player. So if you want to use it as a media player, it's great. And it's fantastic. So when I first used XBMC, it was from my laptop, and I was taking my laptop and I was plugging it into my television. And
okay.
so it was perfect for that. And with the add-ons, it just makes it so much easier because it's such an easy system to use and figure out, and use just a regular remote control for up, down, left, right. You don't need an air mouse. It's really quite intuitive. And then you start putting these add-ons, it just made it so much easier to pirate. And then when Hollywood and the government started cracking down on people downloading torrents, that's when streaming really became big, and XBMC and Kodi became big because you're no longer downloading a torrent and sharing it with thousands of people, which would get you in big trouble with the government of whatever nation you were living in. Instead, you're just streaming, you're just downloading it. So now it takes it from breaking the law to a misdemeanor, depending on where you live. And you go from tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars of fines to maybe a couple $100, and nobody's really going to care about it. So that's why it became popular. And it was almost as easy to use as Netflix if all your links were working.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. So here's kind of the controversial thing about Kodi. So it appears to be blocked on Sony's recent Android TVs. So there's
Ah,
several reports that indicate that at least some of Sony's recent Android TVs are actively blocking Kodi, the open source cross-platform streaming media player. And so Android Police is where I got this from. They said the official Kodi project on Twitter pointed out that Sony's deficiencies were happening just even a few days ago. But several people said on forums that it's been happening for about a year now. So a lot of people think that the cause is Sony itself. And of course, they
mhm.
release a lot of movies and entertainment. And so they're wanting to
And
protect.
they're full of DRM. If
That's
you
true.
remember the big scandals maybe 7, 8 years ago when they started putting DRM on their programs, and you couldn't get things that would work on your PlayStation unless it had the DRM. Like you could not take a Blu-ray disc, put it in your PlayStation 2 or 3, I can't remember which one was the first with Blu-ray, and
Whoa.
have it play unless it had that DRM built into the disc. So if you had a pirated
Sheesh.
disc, it would shut it right down. And
Wow.
not even with the disc, if you downloaded the torrent and the torrent had a name in it that was part of Sony Entertainment and it didn't have the DRM, it wouldn't even play the torrent.
Wow. Okay, so they're a
Yeah,
company that is notorious for this.
very much so.
Anyway, it
Yeah.
sounds like they're cracking down on it. So, what's nice is you have the NVIDIA Shield. That's not Sony, but if Sony picks up on this, maybe other people will too. So, we'll see how long Kodi even lasts.
Well, that's a good point. I guess it comes down to, are you blaming Kodi, the tool, or are you blaming the people that are installing the add-ons that connect you to pirated material? So I think Sony's dead wrong in this. I think that you shouldn't go against a third-party app that could or could not be used for piracy. There's got to be better ways. So I'm sure there are people out there that use Kodi properly without breaking the law. It is a great media streamer. So
Uh-huh.
I bet you most are.
Are you streaming your guitar sessions that you've been playing and
Yeah,
yeah.
so I can show my sweet licks to everybody on YouTube. But